Hello everybody, it's the Alco Diesel Guy with another Will It Run for you. This is a Pennsylvania Railroad RS11, number 8625. This is bought used. Looks like I got this back in the day from... Let's see, where did I get this thing from? K4supply.com. I don't know, again, this may have been bought as long ago as 2013, 12. It's been sitting in its box for a long time. I'm not sure if I ever went through this or if I didn't. So without further ado, let's get into it and see what I'm working with here. Does it have DCC? I don't know. It doesn't say it on the box. Is it analog? I don't know. Looking at it, it's got almost like some rust gets spilled on here. I think it's just a piece of dirt. It's a bit of sticky dirt got on it. Looks to be in good shape. The railings are all in place. RS11s are pretty basic models the way Atlas made them. I should mention this is an Atlas model again. Has the coupler. Someone painted this coupler. That's a nice little effect. These were actually painted, because usually you get them in black. You can tell this is painted because usually you get them in black. Right now, as you see, this has got a very noticeable rusty paint, so very clearly this was owned by someone at one point. Don't know whether it's run or not. Well, actually, yeah, I can tell now because it's got a lot of wear on the wheels. This definitely has seen mileage. How much, I don't know. Without further ado, let's see if it has DCC. I've got my track energized currently. I'm just going to place it on the track and see what it does. Oh, that sounds like it's an analog engine. Yep, it's an analog engine. Okay, so very clearly this engine doesn't have a decoder on it. So before I go any further, I'm going to have to now switch over to an analog power pack. This looks like this is going to be my next project to get done here. This power pack is buzzing away. I really do need to get rid of this thing. I know I keep saying that, but it's still working, so I can't bring myself to get rid of it. Let's go out to 5. And let's now try it out. Yep, there she goes. Oh, very smooth. Okay, so that does run. A little noisy, not too bad. It's even got weathering on here. So yes, it will run, but that's not the end of this project. I'm going to install a decoder on this thing, because obviously all of my locomotives must have DCC. It's one of my common rules. Let me go pull this plug, and I'll set up to put a DCC decoder in this thing. Now, most of the Atlas products use the same basic style decoder, because they have the same basic style sort of frame. It's not a criticism on my part. I really appreciate this because it means you can buy one decoder and put a lot of them in the same engine. The one I'm going to use for this is something I picked up more recent times because I got a deal on them on Amazon. This is an N12AO from NCE. It's an older decoder that lacks the notches in the actual decoder itself, which usually means you have to install Kapton tape, or at least the instructions usually recommend that. That said, however, the same decoders are utilized in some of the factory engines, and they never have that installed from what I have seen. Let's go get this engine's top off. Here's a stock board, and there it is again. Classic stock board. I'm going to go ahead now and take it down to about 3. So let's go up a little bit more. It's a little bit too far. Let's say there. I'm going to go now and remove my screws and split the frame just enough to get the actual decoder out of here. Well, actually, I need to actually split the frame on this because of the way this decoder is designed. So I'm going to go these screws as far as they will go. Then I'm going to gently pull on this until it separates. I hate doing this because it always pops suddenly. Here's one of the trucks just fell off, so I know it's loose. Use my sponger on the bottom here. There we go. Ah, there we go. A little finessing worked pretty well, although, unfortunately, everything wound up on the wrong side. And oh, this project just got significantly longer. Look at that junk on the gears here. Oh my God. This is the infamous butterscotch grease, which I hate. Why? Because it's basically useless other than to use this crazy glue once it's turned past a certain age. So, I need to give this thing a good cleaning. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and get some things together for this. Alright, let's make with the alcohol and the nicely, freshly cleaned plastic dish thing. Going to go now and take all of these parts out and drop them in there. Let's go dump some alcohol in here. Rubbing alcohol is in place. Let's now get working on this mess. Oh, and it is a mess. These things are just full of grease. So here's one greasy gear. Ugh. See, we got hair in it. Yeah, I better just put everything in here. One bearing. I'm going to take this bearing protector thingy, this plastic bearing protector, and take it off. Throw this rest of this in there. Put that into this little part spin on the side. For some reason they even greased the screws. I don't think there'll be a problem, so I think I'll leave them in there like that. Easiest way to keep things straight is to do that. Looking at the gears, I don't see much in the way of grease on them. So I think I can get away without doing these. They run really smooth. Rule is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this ain't broke, so I ain't fixing it. Yeah, I don't see any problems with them. They're running really nice. Should have probably tested them more, maybe, to see if they had contact issues. Whatever the case, I'm going to assume they're good. I can always come back and do this later. Ooh, this one, though, is feeling a little bit funny. I'm going to try a little experiment here. In the past, I've reduced how much I disassembled these. I'm going to try just throwing it straight in there, because thinking about it, there's nothing in here that I wouldn't want to just have doused. Maybe I'll just do the one because this is in worse shape than the other truck. I think I'll just do this one. Sponger to pop these little parts out of here. There we go. Okay, finally got that done. Sorry, I had to do it off camera. I just couldn't push those tabs out. I finally got it released. Trick is you have to push those tabs out of all four corners. I finally got them out, and it's still stuck in here pretty good. Ugh. I'm not going to clean this part because it's been weathered. I'm just going to have to do a different cleaning job on this. Just going to drop it in there just like that. I'm going to grab my brush right now and just go inside this and just clean it out. Where did I put the toothbrush I had here a second ago? For God's sakes. Oh, here it is. Found it. Found it. I'm just going to take a little of this and just go in here and just clean the frame up inside. I'm probably going to wind up doing what I was trying to avoid doing anyway. Should I do the same to this now? I may as well, because I just did that to this. And I can see there's already dry grease on this too, so if I'm honest, I really should. I really am not going to be able to sleep well unless I do it. Let's see. Let me go ahead and do exactly what I did to get the last one out and see if I can demonstrate again. You have to push all four of these tabs out. It's easy enough to do it off camera, but it is very difficult to do it on camera. Like everything, it seems. Also, if your camera would cooperate and stop zooming in and out. I've got to change this camera again. I've had enough of this thing. Maybe that one's clear. That one's clear. That one's clear. Ooh, that maybe pushed it a little bit too far. I didn't like how it clicked. It looks like I got it all out. Alrighty, it's off. Did I break anything? Looks good. Nope, looks good. Everything's fine. Except the grease obviously doesn't look good. Let's go and drop all this in place. Let me take these sides off on both of them, actually, thinking about it. This doesn't have any grease on it, so I'll leave it outside. I'll put it in my parts bin on the side here. No sense in taking a risk with it if you don't have to. These have a nice long spindle on the side. I just went through working on the B23-7 I had here with it. Now, did I put... Another question. Did I put that decoder out of here already? Yes, I did. I already grabbed the decoder. I better make sure that's safe. Let me put that back in its little bag so I don't lose the thing. Because I don't want that thing to get wet. Where did I put it? I just saw it a second ago. Unless I didn't take it out. No, I must have. Just saw it a second ago, didn't I? Oh, yeah, here it is. It's right here. It's right by the locomotive. So this decoder here is going to have to now go in there. I'll keep it to the side so I'm ready to work with it. When I'm ready to work with it, I'll put it back in my decoder drawer thing here. And I shall now let all of this soak for about 48 hours, for about a week or so. I usually do it as long as I can to try to get as much of the gunk out of it. I find I don't have to disassemble them any further. This will do the trick for getting any of the other residual grease out of these things. Once I'm done with that, it should be good. But there was a little bit of stuff that I wanted to get off the side here. Before I do anything else, let me just get this done here. It's a big old wad of grease right on the side here, and I just couldn't stand looking at it. Some inside the drivetrain too. Yep, I'm gonna let this sit and soak for a while. Okay, so now everything is submerged. I just want to make sure this is all under the water level, out of the alcohol level, so it's all underneath, and it will be properly treated by the alcohol. Just gonna grab my lid. If I can find one, then I'll have to grab another one. I have so many of these, it's not too big a deal. And I shall then just let this soak and get back to it when I get back to it. Alrighty, so it's been more than a week now. I've been held up by other things preventing me from getting back to this project. I think it's about time I get these parts from this RS11 out of the vat of alcohol, clean them up, and get them ready to assemble again. There we go. Got my toothbrush here. Again, I use this obviously for my parts only. Let's go and see what we got. Pull the first one out. Get a light on here. So I just got a new phone for taking these. Well, new to me phone, I should say, for taking these videos. So hopefully this comes out a little bit more improved. And looks pretty good. Nice and clean. It's been sitting here long enough, so it better be. Oh, this top gear here fell loose, I see. Oh boy, let's get this thing loose here. Ooh, 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 ooh. That was not in right. That's not good. There is, it's back in place. There's no grease left on here. The long soak literally took it out. There wasn't much, if I remember correctly, on these trucks. Move my light over a little bit more. There we go. That's much better. See, there's a little residue on the bottom here. I don't know how well that comes out. There's a lot of black residue. That's part of the grease and also part of the carbon deposits that were on these parts. The longer it soaks in here, the better it does. Get this other truck out. I left the assemblies together on this. Let me actually zoom in a little bit better because this seems a little bit awkward to keep doing it like this. Alrighty. Run gear's got a little crap in it. Yes, really did its job. The grease that was on here is all but gone. It's dissolved. That's what I like to see. Pardon me. Here's one of the pickup shoe things. These go on the outside of the wheel sets. These little cups in the middle here is where the point from the needle bearings on these wheels go. See if I can get this to focus. This camera already seems a little bit better on focusing. That's good. Oh yeah, that's much better. You can see how that point is cleared up. The cups are also nicely cleaned out. Let me see if I can get in here with a brush and just... get more of this out of here. Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice and clean. When you can't scrub something, it's always better to let it soak, in my opinion. Ooh, this is actually bent a bit here. Ooh, these are not very well set up, so to speak. They bend very easily. May have to get more of these. I have some of these in storage, so if I do need to pull more of these out, I can get them. These little contact things. I have to mess with them when I reassemble this. Gonna let them dry off now for a bit before I do anything. More alcohol on my brush here. So that one cup there cleared out. This one is still black. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Comes right out. I love how this works. Oh, that's so good. Look at how beautiful that cleaned up. It's all black in there. Now you can see the metal. It's just too bad this blackening stuff that they put in here to make it look realistic actually just works against it and inhibits contact instead of something with the realism on it. Okay. I got one more worm gear to look over and make sure it's clean. The first one I did already. Only 2 of these on each engine, 1 on each side. A little bit of stuff on here, not much. Most of it dissolved, it looks like. Just going to go give it one more touch with this. Can't hurt to just make sure every last bit of that's gone. Okay. And one more bearing, which I think is in pretty good shape. This, or bushing, or whatever you'd like to call it. That's good. Okay, so now I'm going to let all of this dry on a paper towel here for a few hours, and I'll get back to this. While I'm in here, let me take a look at the contacts on the frame. There's a little bit of this stuff on the frame. Let me see if I can get some of this out of here. I can't stand looking at that. Yeah, you can see in here there's a little bit left in there. So I'll scrape it out. Much improved. Get a little bit more on my brush here. Scrape this area out. This is where the worm gear is held in place. I don't want any of the sticky grease in there if I can avoid it. I'll let this soak in the alcohol, this brush, so I can clean it as much as I can. The contacts here don't really seem all that bad. Take a little bit of my paper towel off here. It's going to do a quick little dab in here into my alcohol. Use a bit of this paper towel just to clean off the bottoms of these contacts. They seem pretty clean. I don't think this thing really saw much of any service. I think mostly it just sat in its box. Sadly enough, that's what usually happens to these models. But yeah, this is actually in pretty good shape here. This is really not bad. I've seen much worse. This side here, oh, there's a bit of crap on here. I gotta get my brush out here and do the other one. I just saw it. As you can see right here, that's what I'm concerned about. It's all full of grease or something. Whatever it is, I don't want that on my... Get between the contacts of my drivetrain on it, because it's not going to help anything. Let me get rid of this grease. I can't stand looking at this stuff. I'm going to re-grease this with synthetic lube, not this junky, non-synthetic stuff, which was prehistoric even when they put it on here, in my opinion. Nice and cleaned up. Again, alcohol won't hurt these surfaces. It evaporates very quickly, and it usually will just dissolve everything. This is the 90. What is the high? I think it's 91% isopropyl, or it's the highest rate you can basically buy off the shelf from a place like Walmart or a pharmacy. So all I'm doing here is just scraping out these 2 areas. Oh, look at how nicely that cleaned up. Okay, so I'm going to let this now sit here. As such, let all of this stuff settle and just dry off. Once, with those things sitting up here on the top of the pad. I'll move them out here so I can show you a little bit better. And once they're done drying, I will start reassembly, which is going to be a while from now. Okay. So far, so good. Alrighty, so with my parts now nicely dried, as they've been sitting here for quite some time, I'm going to say about 24 hours, I'm ready to start putting this thing back together. I'm also going to put a decoder in it. So let me actually just lay my parts out and set it up. Make sure I have everything. I need to get the thrust washers, which I have stashed over here. I always use a part spin when I work on this. I need my other thing right here. Yep, I have them. I have the bushings, a lock washer thing. Still a little junk on these, but I think they'll be okay. This one has just a tad of this stuff on it. Oh, I hate this junk. There we go. I got it off. Okay, so I got my stuff together. I got that. I need the truck frames. Let's go down and start reassembling the trucks to start with. So right now I've got my truck assemblies right here. I'm tempted to put conductive lubricant, but I think I'll just leave them like they are and just put them together as such. Again, each one of these gets one of these contact thingies, which goes in here. It mounts to the side as such. Again, the points always go out. The needle points are out in this case, as they act like a cup to hold the axle in place. Ooh. Okay. I didn't see that before. What do we have here? So I thought I'd cleaned everything out the way it was supposed to be. I find something unwanted in there. Yuck. I mean, this did see some action because it's got some of this junk in here. That's really not pleasant. At all. At all. Hello. My tweezers here digging it all out. I refuse to put this back in that dirty. I couldn't get it to come out before, but now it, of course, magically comes out. Time for the rubbing alcohol. Luckily, I still have a little of it left over here. I'm going to go over with my brush here and just try to get rid of more of this old toothbrush I used to clean these things up. I think that'll do it. Okay, amazing how effective that is. Let's now just try to mount this in position. Like that. Yep, the wheels have wear and tear, so this definitely ran for a while. And with all the hair I just found there, yep. This goes to show you sometimes you can't tell something ran until after you've started cleaning it up. That'll work, I think. Yep. Okay, that was a little surprise, but I think I'm good to assemble this piece now. There's a slight residue left in the gears, but I think it's okay. You know what? Let me just do one little bit more cleaning here. Exactly what I wanted to avoid, but I refuse to take any chances at all with this stuff. Okay, that's all set. Gonna now mount my truck frames to this. Sides to it. It's just a single side. Let's see, the gears go on this side of the truck as such, so that's how it should go in. I'm going to always put it in straight down, and it just clips right in place. And there we go. That's in place, and it works. So that's the first truck done. Let's go to the next one. Let's see what we got here. Surprised these are not as clean as I thought they were even after I scrubbed them. I'm going to have to do this one again. Looks like I'm not going to complete the assembly today, folks. Alright, well, I can at least get the trucks assembled and say I got that done. Okay, yeah, I think that's in pretty good shape. Okay, let us now hook in this. As such, some of this blackening stuff is coming off this contact. I don't know why they put it on here. It's kind of useless, really. It only causes problems. Oh. Get one in there. That's good. So here the gears going like that. Into the slat, into this little slot there. The whole assembly should just drop in place now once I get all this stuff aligned. And, oh, I think this is a little bit bent. Got it. Finally. Yeah, I think that does it. Okay, that's finally fixed. Ugh, boy, that was a mess. Well, the ironic thing is it's taken so long I can now actually work on getting the rest of this together. It's all dried up again. Let me now get the worm gear ready. I'm going to now put one of these protector things right here. Ooh, this one doesn't fit right for some weird reason. Okay, maybe I do need to get the other one that came with it out. The end cap on there. Is this backwards? I hope not. Yes, it is. Oh, for God's sakes. I have the frame on the wrong side, so now I got to pull this out and actually put it on the other side. Okay, so this needs to come out like this. Ugh, and I also need to get this contact thing back in place. Oh, wow. This thing is not going to be easy, so I don't think I'm going to quite get as far as I wanted to today, but at least I can get... At least I got some progress made here, I mean, but... Ugh, seriously. All right, where are my tweezers, please? Okay, I'm just going to use the tweezers to push these little locks for the motor out. Try to see if I can get this thing loose. Loosey-goosey. Oh boy, these things have been bent over a bit. Hope I don't damage anything. Okay, so now this has to go in the way it needs to go in on this side, so it doesn't go in backwards, which would not be pleasant if it did. I actually also need to put Kapton tape on the frame, so maybe I'll get to that right now. That would actually probably make perfect sense, wouldn't it? Then again, that's just what you'd be expecting me to do. Okay, I've cut some Kapton tape. Let's go ahead and wrap the frame in this stuff. I'll cut the excess off in a while. I just need to get it in here so this is done. See, I'll cut the excess off later. I can now work on getting the frame together. So we need to put it in on this side. Reason being is this has the holds for the actual motor mount itself. For the mounts itself right over here, as you see for the gears. Just going to line up and gently press it in. I've already lubricated this motor, if I remember correctly. Well, I can't. Oh, that's right. I can't on this because it's closed. This is the one that you see there is no way to get into the actual brushes, a commutator, etc. So you can't actually do anything with it. You're kind of stuck with what it is. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Admittedly, not many people do mess with their motors. They just usually replace them. Count me as one of them. Though I do like having the option of at least trying to fix a motor if it goes bad. But in this case, I don't have that. Okay, so I've got this assembled. This is the one I used last time. There it is. This will work fine. Cut this off on the top here. Yeah, my usual disclaimers apply on these things. Oh, I don't want to cut through that. So that one's done. And I'm going to cut the excess off on this side as well. That'll actually do pretty well right there. Okay, so I cut the excess off both sides. Let me put the safety back on my knife. And I shall now work on getting everything assembled. Okay. I like to be proper. I don't like cutting corners. There we go. That's in. That's on. Let's go right in here and just install it. We'll click this in place. There we go. It's in. That's in. Let's go. This one goes in like this, I hope. Doesn't look like this actually wants to fit in here, right? It's almost like I got the wrong gear. I only worked on one engine, so it doesn't make any sense for me not to have the right one here. I don't get that at all. But this appears to be the wrong one. Very strange. Very strange. Oh, there we go. Now I got it in. There we go. Very tricky to accommodate these things. They are in place. Now I got that done. Now, for the pièce de résistance, aka the decoder. Again, we're going with, I think I showed this in the last video, before already in this video, but I'll show it again. The N1208 AO decoder from NCE. Very basic decoder. Let's go slip it right in on the motor side. And when one of these contact lines came out, I'm going to have to put it back in again. While it is a pain to have the frame split like this, I know it's awkward. It actually makes it easier to install because you can easily line up these contact surfaces. Oh, it's bent over. Okay. I don't know what the heck happened there. I hope I didn't mess this motor up. So clearly this engine had some action. No good. I don't know why this is so unhappy. Well, this looks like something bent, like I broke something off there. I hope I didn't, but it does look distinct, like I may have taken some of the metal off. I don't see any metal fragments. It's just the way this other finger off the motor pickup slash thing is sitting. See, is that sitting right? See, I have to make it touch that contact surface, and I think I got it working. Oh, yeah, that's pretty nice. Just got to make sure it doesn't cross anything. Pretty sure that's in there. It was better that way. Okay, so back a little bit. I know this looks tedious, and it is, but you either get tedious now or you get tedious when you try to put the shell on it and try to make it run. Because you'll run into a situation where the engine won't run, And you'll have to do exactly what I'm doing now, just later on. Ah, the joys of installing a DCC decoder. Not. Oh, boy. Hopefully this will work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Alrighty, let's now snap it in place. I think I got it. The motor also has to snap in place here. These two clips of the motor have to go into these little holes here. That is, I got that aligned, I got that aligned. Apply pressure firmly, and it's together. Sort of. Hopefully. Is the insulator in place here? Yes, it is. Its insulator is in there. Okay, good. Then why isn't this side quite lined up? Oh, this motor notch isn't in right. That's why. There it is. It clicked. There we go. That's in, I think, sort of. Possibly. Possibly. Okay, so I think that is good. I just need to put the one insulator washer on this side here. The tie-down washer, if you will, the locking washer nut thingy has to get put in there. Gonna apply a little glue. I'm gonna, pardon me, oil. Glue. Oh God, listen to me. Yeah, ignore me. I mean oil, folks. I mean oil. Okay. Let me get some grease, actually, just to really make things confusing. Found it. Was right in front of me. Of course, I couldn't find it because of that. I'm also going to put some oil in the motor. I should have probably done that sooner, but just how things worked out. So let's just go ahead and just put a little dab in there. A little dab in there. I'm hearing now from some people to get more aggressive with this lately, but I still believe in putting as little in as possible. I find over-lubricating is actually worse than under-lubricating. There. Bitty dab in there. I think that's good now, right? I hope. I pray. The other one, and put the other truck in place. Let me actually put this fuel tank on to stop these contacts from coming loose. These wire pickup contact thingies, because if I don't fix this, it's going to drive me nuts. There they go. They all have to be loose like that. And just slip this over. Oh, it's backwards. Let's go in like that. Yeah, there it is. That's it. Okay, let me grab the other truck. First, let me get this back in again. Ugh. Here's the other truck. Goes in as such. There it is. It's all in place. A lot of oil just went all over the place. I think I overdid that a little bit. Let me now tighten everything down. Where is my... Oh, there it is. Let me get some of this grease off my hands before I do damage to something. It's Earl. Tighten both of these screws up so it can't get loose again. This is take to fix. Couple of turns of the screw. I think that'll work. Seems like this is working better than the previous one I was using. Over Samsung S20s. Let's go and try this out. I don't know how well, or I don't know if this will work. I don't know if it'll blow a fuse. I'm going to put this on the main track to test it. Hopefully we don't have smoke puffing out. But the only way to test it, the only way to do this is to test it out. So I'm going to push this in there. Got to plug this in there. Alrighty. Okay, everybody, smoke test. On comes the surge protector. No short, that's a good sign. Light. That's a bad sign, no light. Nada, zip, zilch. Nada. Okay, am I on the right one? It's the main track plugged in. Yes, it is. Okay, something clearly is not right. He says without any irony, I know. Okay, I don't know exactly what was wrong with this thing. I took it apart, put it back together. It still wouldn't pick up power. It wouldn't cooperate. Messed with it, messed with it, messed with it. Now suddenly, as you can see here, the headlight is working and it is actually running. I'll demonstrate now. Let me hopefully this thing will turn me into a liar. There it goes. Oop. A little hesitant to start there, but did move. Runs a little rough, though. I'm going to have to mess with the motor a little bit more. It looks like. I think it's too tight. Ooh, that is terrible. Oh, I just can't win today, can I? Anyway, it wouldn't respond at all, but after I messed with the decoder a bit, suddenly it came to life. I think the decoder may have been the problem in this case. I'm going to loosen the bolts, and I'm going to loosen these screws up a little bit on the decoder because I think that's causing it. Just about a half a turn or two. See if that fixes things. Hopefully this will make it run a little bit smoother. That's much better. There we go. These motors do have this weird habit of making noise in one direction and not the other. Okay, so I'm going to call that good. Motor is still loud. It always seems to happen when you work on these too much. I find that a lot of times they just start, these later sealed motors tend to do that after a while. It may have actually been because I cleaned this up ironically enough that messed it up. A little bit. It's still perfectly functional. It's just going to make noise. So anyway, I'm going to call it done. Let me go ahead now and actually program this. Found it. Okay, let's see here. This is number 8625. Let's go program this thing up on the main track. No, I did it wrong again. One of these days I'll get used to it, just not today. Program main track. 8625. There we go, that worked. Worked very smoothly, surprisingly. Loco 8625. Okay, it's working. Let me put on my Norfolk and Western shell. Pennsylvania shell. This thing has on it. Go ahead. This again was analog. It will now be DCC. And there we have it. Just like that, I've completed it. I'm just going to do one last test once I get the shell on here. You need to tighten this up a little bit. So this definitely did see action on the carpet, etc. Hopefully I cleaned this up well enough that it'll be in good shape for a while. Okay, back down it goes. Back on the track it goes. One last test. Oh god, that's horrendous. It's going to be a noisy engine, I guess, because that motor has had it. That's probably why it was put up for sale. Yeah, I guess this is probably going to be a candidate for a motor replacement, but it does work, which is the critical part about it. Okay, here's a little update on this locomotive. I assembled it before it was running but making a lot of noise. I put the shell on it again and it failed. So what I ended up doing is taking that NCE decoder out, which is this N120 AO, and replacing it with one of my long standard decoders I like to use, the DN163 AO. And now it runs as smooth as silk and reliably. So I'm almost thinking that there's something to do with the voltage being put out to the motor that's causing these things to run rough. Because right now, this is smooth as silk. So it appears that the problem with this was actually the decoder. Anywho, let me reprogram this again. This is 8625. That took fine. Yep, it took. It runs beautifully now, but that other decoder, this decoder here appears to have been the problem, this NCE job. So I may have to stop using these. It looks like they weren't the bargain I thought they were going to be. Getting them returned is going to be a bit of a challenge, so I really may have made a big goof on this. Anywho, I'm going to hold, actually, pardon me, this is actually the decoder right here. So anywho, I'm going to have to look up and see if this is a problem with the decoder or something else. I'll try installing this on another locomotive and see what happens. But right now, I fixed this locomotive. I'm going to put it back with its shell, give it one last test. Hopefully this will be my final test on this. And yeah, it's just when I thought it was done, it wasn't because it wouldn't work. And now I put it in with this new decoder, and suddenly the motor issues disappear. It runs as smooth as silk again. So I almost wonder, it's running a little rough, but not like it was before. It was screaming around the track. Now, it's pretty smooth compared to what that was. So it appears the decoder may have just been the issue. So it looks like I'm going to have to think again about using NCE decoders. I never was crazy about the brand, but it appears that's what was going on. So anyway, we'll have to look into this again.